another edition of Halftime Chat. And actually, this is one of those live win interviews. And I've got with me another special guest. Um, I've known him as Mookie, but Jonathan Mookie Morant, who is a producer, songwriter, and now an author. And if you'd seen the interview I did with him last year, he was part of the Untouchables, producing them. He did some stuff with Bad Boy. He's been LaFace. He's worked with a lot of great people. So, and he's written an autobiography about his time in the industry, um, titled "The Happy Has Been." So it's almost as if, yes, you know what, I was in the industry, I was in making it. I'm out of it now, but I'm still happy and stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So I'm going to bring in Mookie, and yeah, feel free to chat, ask questions as he comes along. So let me bring him on in. Yes, Mr.
Hey,
Mookie, how are you doing?
I am happy. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here with you. Definitely. My
Yes.
brother.
Well, as just as we started, I wanted to send my condolences that just as you were launching your book and everything, we heard about the untimely passing of your beloved mother. How are you holding up?
Yeah, Mom, Linda Sellinger Morant. Linda Natalie Sellinger Morant. She was a matriarch of a big fat musical family. And but I'm doing well. The way I've dealt with most of the transition, still painful. We're
Yeah.
actually about to set her ashes to rest with Dad in the Beaufort National Cemetery where Dad is. He was part of the military, so we're doing that next week, right before the book launch. But as Mom passed, I believe she passed the torch, and literally a couple days later, from New York back to South Carolina, I had to launch this book.
Oh,
So I'm good, but there was a moment there where I second guessed. I have to admit, and I even felt guilty that here my mom, she just left. It's a little emotional still, but and now I have to push a book. So I almost almost stuttered, but then I pictured my dad and my mom, and my dad with his heavy hand said, "Look, fool, it's on you now. We're
mm,
over here, so it's time for you to get to work." And then I snapped and I got to work. So I'm doing fine. People are receiving the book way beyond what I imagined. So I'm thankful for all of you and all your people here at Halftime Chat, that's my go-to. Matter of fact, matter of fact, everyone that I talk to in the music business and out of it, they're like, "Oh, Halftime Chat, yes." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. So you know my brother Namdi, as you should." But yeah, I'm doing fine, man. I'm
okay.
doing my folks' work. I'm carrying on the legacy, so I feel good
Yeah.
about it. Yes, sir.
Well, it's good. It's good to hear. Now, for the maybe people joining in that might not have known you or known about you, can you just give a just tell us about who you are, and especially you know as a producer and things.
Well, I'll try and give a little rundown. So I produced and wrote songs for several entities from Jive Records, Jive Zomba, Warner Brothers, Sony, Columbia, RCA, Arista, like pretty much Warner Brothers, all the record companies. I started out with a unknown band back then, five young, very talented white kids known as the Backstreet Boys, and so the rest kind of jumped off from there. Then I hooked up with my brother, who we're still like this to this day, Donnell Jones, through Eddie F, DJ Eddie F. He was my mentor slash music partner. Uh, Also Bob Celestin, who started Uptown with Andre and also helped with Untouchables, formulating that, has his own record company, did a deal with us for me and my brother's band, Redbone Black. We worked with Cassandra Mills, the Queen, over at Giant Warner Brothers. And then just work with a ton of artists from Genuine to NSYNC, uh, just so many, Johnny Gill. Like me and Eddie did a ton of records for so many artists over at Motown and LaFace together. And And then, I had a long run, a nice long 15 years. And then, personal life, kids who I love deeply. In fact, that's much of what kind of my transition out of the spotlight of the business, and I entered back into performing music, which is how I started as a young man. Um, and now I'm an author. I
Okay.
have a book.
Okay.
So there you go.
So, an
Broad strokes.
industry that is quite hard to get in and to stay in and to stay relevant, most people be wondering, why would you, in the midst of success,
Mm,
leave the music industry, especially as a producer behind the
mhm,
scenes, which doesn't seem to be as tasking
mhm,
compared to being a recording artist and having to tour and promote.
mhm. Two great points. So I'll start with the second point. Part of what made it really palatable to me, you'll know my history was as a drummer. So if you know anything about most drummers, they're in the background, and I liked it like that. Like I kept the pocket. I'm the foundation. You're not getting nowhere without me. But you don't have to look at me. Look at the lead singer and the guitarist and all the fancy, pretty people. So I liked it like that. So being a producer and a songwriter, perfect. Same deal. But you have your plans, and then there's the plan. Um, so now moving to the first part of the question, part of it was an inner conflict. Like I started out trying to make it. I was already a single dad. My son Christian, I raised him as a single dad from 1 day old. Came home with me from the hospital, and
Wow.
yeah, and he's been with me ever since. He just turned 33 last week. So yes,
Oh my
I'm old.
goodness.
Uh, the first of five kids. We'll get there, but that's always been me. So I was a dad first. So as I got blessed and cracked through that glass ceiling of the record business, I was still a dad and single parent. I had my parents, thank goodness. They're like mom and dad to Christian. So I had that nucleus. But a lot of part of the business, I imagine any business, if you're successful, it pulls you away. There's a tug of war. You want to be with your kids because that's who you are, but you're trying to make it and you're making it. So what do you do? So that conflict kind of led to maybe me not giving in as much attention to the business, or maybe me subconsciously thinking maybe it's time, even at the top of my game. But also, ego and all the things that come with that spotlight played a part. I didn't just exit gracefully. I kind of, I was ushered out a little bit, and I speak
Oh,
about that. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Well, it's hard to really it's hard to really say, because what happened was I felt myself leaving. So as I felt myself leaving, I think I was helped into leaving. You know what I mean? It's kind of like momentum, the direction you're going. Oh, you're going to go as long as you keep going in that direction, and there'll be forces that help it along. I believe that if I was really fighting to stay in, I would have done the things that I did in the beginning to do that. But I was conflicted. So that's
Okay.
kind of, uh,
Okay. I mean, around what year would you say that you moved? Because I know for R&B, because we spoke about Donnell, the Untouchables,
yeah.
and that sort of era, the early 2000s, there was a shift in black music and
Mhm.
R&B. So around what year would you say that you sort of made your transition out of the music industry?
Uh, '04. '04 is
Okay.
when '04 is when I was sure, by that time Christian was 14. I had my second child, my daughter, my first daughter, Mercy. Hi, Mercy. You better be watching. And Mercy at the time was turning 4, or excuse me, 4, maybe turning 5. And so yeah, it was all about the '90s and the early 2000s was my strong. So that's why I say when I transitioned, wrong word, but when I transferred over from being in it, it wasn't at a downturn, to be honest. It was like things were still going up after 12 solid years. So it was a weird kind of cosmic, a bunch of events that came together, and next thing you know, I'm back behind my drum kit, rocking, diapers, doing my thing again, so
I mean, and but also there is a perception about the music industry, about the glitz and the glamour, which most of us, prior to say these interviews that we've been doing, to realize that actually not everything was rosy on the other side, would have assumed that you're meeting up with with stars and
yeah,
parties and
yep,
all that stuff. I mean, why why leave such a
hmm,
so I mean, I've seen pictures of you with Mariah Carey and Justin Timberlake, and it just seems as if
yeah,
wow, you it just seems like anything goes. Well,
yeah.
was did you get tired of living the fast life within the industry, or
Um, so again, it's, I think maybe this is just my journey, but it's been a journey of conflict. Because on the one hand, imagine this really dedicated single dad. Like I wasn't visiting. We were together. But also, I'm climbing the ladder of music success, and I am. I'm going to the parties, I'm doing the things. Um, I couldn't tell, I guess, and I was younger. Yeah, I'm in my 20s, and I felt like an old soul, but reflecting back, I was young, and I acted young. But I couldn't tell oftentimes whether I was enjoying it, I was, or I was enjoying it because that was what you do, what's expected. So there's that conflict. And yes, I mean, look, I share with people many of these experiences that are mind-boggling. I don't even believe them, except that I lived them because they were the dream. It was my dream to have these experiences. But then you get there, and you're still a person, and you also get to know these people. Like for me, one of the biggest things was I didn't just want to hang and kick it with these people because okay, I want to get to know these people. Like I want to know you, and I want you to know me. And I was fortunate, like with my brother Donnell and with Buddy Wyke of Intro, who was my bro, Eddie, Bob. We knew each other, and we know each other, the deeper parts. And all of us have these very same struggles. Like, it looks good and it's awesome, but talk to us. Believe me, we got to deal with the same ponderance of, oh, what about my family life? And oh, I'm struggling with my marriage. And how do I hold the two together? Yeah, I'm climbing this ladder and I'm falling down this one at the same time. So it's like picture my legs splitting, and then the next thing you know, we got trouble. So it's constantly going on. So you're making decisions, or decisions are being made for you by the universe, and there you have it. You can't. Success comes with all kinds of stuff. Or excuse me, I say success in quotes because now the whole thing about the happy has been. It's like I realized, yes, I was happy then, but man, I'm joyful now. And before, when I was in my most struggle days, like when I had to get the beans from the WIC, the women, infant, and children, the food stamps. When I was there, I remember my son, my baby boy, not 2 years old yet, his smile. There was not a greater joy for me. And it's that again. So all the joy that I experienced and the blessings of being part of this music community, which by the way, I ain't frowning on it and I ain't complaining because I promise. And again, I hope I deliver that in between the pages. Oh, there are some gloriously wonderful moments, things that I couldn't have, I could never have. I mean, I've stood at the Christ statue in Brazil, right there. I've been to Venezuela. I've enjoyed the culture and the meaning, the people on the ground in Sao Paulo. I've spent time in Germany. Shout out to Tanya. What up, dude? That's my girl in Germany. And Amsterdam. I've spent a month in Amsterdam working. I was with Sadat X, one of my heroes, coming to do a rhyme on my song. I've been involved in things that, I mean, they're just mind boggling, and I'm so blessed. But If you were to ask me my happiest moments, they're all going to be one, two, three, four, five. Christian, Mercy, Sophia Blue, Savannah Pancake, Roman, the Great, I call them, my children. And those come whether it's good times or hard times. So I think it's all about happiness. And also, I gotta say, part of it in the subtitle you see like 6 degrees. So there's we know about 6 degrees. A lot of us have heard of the 6 degrees of separation theory.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing, but I call it 6 degrees of connection because separation, the word itself connotes kind of a stiff arm, like a divide, and that's almost how we see things a lot, whether in this country or around the world. We're divided. So I like to think of it as we're connected because we really are by measure of degrees. My experiences, even trying to make it in the business, it literally occurred by the smallest awareness of some random person or some random set of circumstances, which I do try to lay out in the pages and when I speak to people how I can talk about you. You're one of my heroes. I don't care what you say because what you do, well, wait a minute, what you bring to this space, it's not just sensationalism and salacious, this fun, man. We're going to have fun. People, clicks, I get it. But you delve into the backstories. You do it so well and you talk about feelings because we are, all us out here, we're the same. We got human feelings. So I realized that at the top, for example, I was going through the same thing. I was struggling with things that I didn't expect. I figured, just like you're saying, I'm going to the parties. I'm kicking it. Will Smith, he's like, yo, Mook, I love your song on my soundtrack. What more do I need than that? You know what I'm saying? But I guess what I need is to be who I am, and I'm a dad. I'm a person who loves children. I'm a person who wants to help and give and do what I can. And those are many of the ways that I failed when I was in the business. Because frankly, I made tons of money. Okay, I had
Mm.
all the zeros. I had all the zeros. Well, them zeros went somewhere. I don't know where they went, but they didn't go. I mean, I want to help people, and that's one way to do it. So that anyways, learning
Yeah.
curve. Um,
Thinking about that. I mean, as I said, prior to doing this stuff, I always thought all the artists and producers were just making mega bucks, and I didn't realize about contracts and
yeah, man.
publishing and ownership and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, did the pay and income
Mhm.
did it? Because I know other artists. I remember Dalvin when I interviewed him talked
Yeah.
about that he got had they had Jodeci had all the fame, but their bank accounts
Mm,
weren't living up to the fame they had.
yeah.
From your point, being behind the scenes, you're
Hmm.
making Backstreet Boys, you're having a track with them. You have a track on Men in Black with was it with Genuine
Yeah,
on them?
genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting placements on big tracks like that. Working with
Hmm.
Pink,
Hmm.
was all that work where you was the income coming in that shows yes you are doing big things, or
Yes.
is it that it wasn't tonight, it wasn't as if, well, I'm in the midst of all the celebrity stuff,
Hmm.
I'm getting a check but not enough to pay the
Right.
rent, so I'm oh.
Um, no, it was. I'm to be honest. Yeah, I would. The checks were. They were right. They were substantial. I'm not going to say, that's relative because, looking back with, my manager, Bob Celestin, the GOAT, he was also the top attorney and he understands the numbers. And he would tell me to this day, he's like, oh, we need to do some meetings and revisits. He's like, I'm thinking substantial, but he's like, yeah, I think you and Donnell and everybody else need to revisit because I think y'all got money out there. So it's relative, but for me, coming from ramen noodles and a prayer, oh, it was
Mm.
money. It was big money. Um, so yeah, but you know that again, coming from where I come from, shout out to Anthony Hamilton, my guy, who's also one of my bros. Coming from where I'm from, I was good living sparse. So when I got all that money, I didn't really do much. I got a car. I actually bought my first car from Brian Luttrell, one of the Backstreet Boys, because he's moving on up. He's getting all these cars, and he's like, and I wanted it. I'm just keep it real. It's all real. My wife at the time, she loved a Jeep, so he had a Jeep, and it was a special edition. I was like, oh, can I get that Jeep? He's like, yep. So I just bought the Jeep. And see, that's when money comes in hand. Here's a check. Give me your Jeep. Got a Jeep. Here you go. Um, so yeah, but I didn't care. I still wear my kids crack on me, son. I still wear some of the same clothes I wore then. Like I have to retire my clothes. I'm not going to retire, but my clothes got to be retired, man. It's funny because certain things like Fila and certain things like Fubu and Puma and Pony, all those are back in style. I got the originals and I'm still wearing them. So I'm like, I'm the dude. I mean, they're a little rusty, but filter. But so I was never like, it wasn't about, I didn't need to floss. I didn't need to do nothing. I didn't even know how. I remember Eddie taking me to,
Who's this? Eddie,
oh, I'm
DJ
so
Eddie
sorry.
F.
DJ Eddie F, who is my
Yeah.
brother, mentor. I mean, he is, I can't say enough about Eddie, but I will. But I remember him almost kind of nice guy teaching me because I'm just from Charleston, South Carolina, and he's seeing me and he's probably going, "Yo, this kid don't care." So I think he liked that part. But when Jordans first came out, like when Jordans became a thing in the '90s, when it first came out, he took me to this spot in Mount Vernon to get the original black, the low tops with the little white lining. It's all, you couldn't even buy them now. It probably cost you like $2,000. But he took me as soon as they came out. We went to the store. He had one of his boys saved us a pair, and I bought my first pair. And man, I wore them things, and I didn't know what I was doing. But he said they were fly. I said they were fly. So I think my point is, I just didn't know, and I didn't care. And so the money, I did things, but it was all big to me. But I gotta say, I've witnessed what many performers, artists, songwriters, everybody, the rightful complaints, because it was heavily weighted with the labels back then. I mean, the labels, man, like an artist might get 9 points, 9% of who they are. Imagine that. People on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, they couldn't imagine that. Imagine Spotify going, say, hey, I'm going to give you 9%. I mean, you won't even visit them. Now, we have a different argument with Spotify in terms of streams. Yeah, there's work to be done, but the point is, you own your stuff. You know nothing. That's why the whole fight for getting masters. I know I'm going off on tangents, but I'm trying to say that I've been around both sides. I've been around all the big money and the big flossing and artists and songwriters who were like, yo, I just wrote you a hit. I wrote a hit for Mary J. Blige, but yo, I'm still trying to, can I get some pennies? I mean, I was fortunate in the respect that, again, I had people. I had Bob Celestin, trust it. I had Eddie F. I had like people looked out for me, and it's a good thing because who knows if they didn't, and they kind of spun away from me, and I had people looking out for me. But it wasn't my knowledge because I didn't know. I just took it and was thankful that it was more than zero. So, and
That's
that's
good.
what it is. So, but it actually helped me because on the other side of it, I still have that same gratitude level. In fact, even more because I realize how quick it comes is as quick it goes. So you're gonna be happy based on that. Good luck.
Yeah. So are you saying that even with mingling with celebrities, making music and seeing its the success, it doesn't bring there's only a finite level of happiness.
No, no, I miss if that's what it is, I'm misspeaking because let me tell you, it was pure joy. The dealing with because celebrities, but dealing with the people, getting to know these folk who actually majority of them have a heart for people. They actually care about the craft, the culture, the art, and most of all, other people. Many of them give constantly. You're not going to know. You don't hear about that. But I promise these are giving souls because many of them know what it's like. They started from the bottom. Now they're here. My brother Donnell, I mean, He gonna be mad at me. I'm telling you, this dude is a giver. He just don't talk about it, but he's always giving. Buddy White, are you kidding me? I could talk about him for days. If it wasn't for Buddy, I might not even be sitting here today. Let me tell you, Buddy White of intro and Jeff Sanders, Kenny Green, these are my brothers. R.I.P. Kenny. But they essentially endorsed me in the beginning of my career when nobody was checking for me. They was like, "Who is this kid? South Carolina, man, move on. I'm in Brooklyn. No, there's nobody listening."
Hmm.
And back then it was tight knit. Trust me, I wasn't getting in if I didn't have. But those guys, Buddy pulls up in his SUV, yo, Jannard Parker, all these producers, like, yo, come here, I want to take you to some spots. He takes me all these places, and because Intro's so large and in charge, they did Mary's first album. They're it. Mary, everybody's
Mm.
like, okay, Mook, what up? Introducing me to Christopher Williams, introducing me to Jody, like all these people, and they embrace me because of who I'm with. So it is, that old adage, ain't what you know, is who you know, facts.
Mm.
But the point is, I didn't, like, I took it and I was like, okay, you're gonna give me this door, I'm gonna jump through it.
Mm.
So I jumped through and I was blessed, but I had help. That 6 degrees I talk about, the connection,
Mm.
had this not happened, and there's so many. I mean, and it had one thing not happened, the next thing wouldn't happen. I mean, we all get that as a concept, but I try to make it plain and make it real because it's just not a matter of fact thing. It's actually the thing. That one thing is actually the reason that next triumph or tragedy potentially may occur. So,
Yeah.
but there's joy
Um,
in it all. I'm sorry,
yeah.
but I think that's also my point because what I've learned is in reflecting, I look back and I'm like, dang, even in the worst parts, man, it was awesome. And in the high parts, it was awesome too. But also, I had to remind myself how awesome it was. We get caught, we
Yeah.
get ego, we're moving fast and we forget. I remember all the things in the high times, the big times, but did I really live it? You know what I mean? Did I embrace it? Did I really enjoy being there on the ground in Brazil for 3 weeks? Did I remember it and then kind of got swept up in all the hay? And that's what I try to just poke at because it's the same. It's the same right now, life after destiny, I call it. It's the same for anyone who's going to work, working a job, doing what they got to do, taking care of their family. Even in
Mm.
this, are you recognizing that you're blessed, we're here on this planet. So we're breathing. We got people who love us and that we love. Take that. Live with
Yeah.
that. So
Mm. Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, I guess what has then motivated you to write the book at this time, this season?
Yes. So like many things in my life, almost kicking and screaming. So it started out by, I've had a lot of distance from when I was real active in the music business. So there's some years went by, I'll say maybe 14 years at least. And so now I'm
Mm.
well removed technically. And I just started sharing some of my heart, some of my stories on social media. By the way, which gets a bad rap. It's another thing that gets a bad rap. I get it. I get there's craziness out there, but it's what we do with it. So I just started sharing my heart, trying to lift up people, encourage, talking about whatever's under the sun. And I started sharing a couple of moments that I might have experienced when I was, heavily in the music business during that time of my life. And I started getting all the feedback and the comments and very positive. So I'm like, let's do this. Let's get this positivity feedback loop going. So that's what my social media feed became. And then this independent small little publisher saw this. Somebody I didn't even know. I didn't even remember how we connected, but we connected, and from there, proposition that I should write a book, my story, and I was like, yeah, no. And I thought of, look, that's a commitment. I'm committed. I got 5 kids by now. Or excuse me, I have 5 kids by then. So I'm committed. But then I started thinking about my children. I thought about my Sophia, my Savannah, and my Roman, who were not even alive during that time in my life, and how well they should know their dad's life then. They really should, not just the outs. Because they see the songs. This goes out to all the players. They know in the hood, Donnell is trending on TikTok. They know it like that. oh, my daddy wrote that with Donnell. But do they know? So I wrestled for a year. I did not commit. I just wrestled with the thought. But the more that I thought about it, I said, well, if nothing else, they need to know the story. So I committed. And from there, spent a good 3 years through COVID, through my dad passing and wrapping up with my mom passing, and wrote this book and poured my heart. You know, it was cathartic. I faced it. I had to face myself. And woo, I mean, as pretty as I am here, or maybe on the cover, oh boy, that was an ugly picture at times. So, but it was good because I got to work with my soul. So hopefully it resonates and translates. It's my dream. Yeah.
I mean, for those people who are, um, I'm thinking, okay, I need to get the book.
Yes.
What can they expect if they get the book, and what kind of stories can they expect?
Awesome. Well, I'm going to walk you through a majority of it is my experience. I share right from the beginning my story from coming from a musical family. Both my father is a legendary jazz musician, trumpet player, singer, who worked with everyone from Ray Charles to Paul McCartney to Stevie Wonder, like everyone calling my dad. Dizzy Gillespie would say, hey, you want a trumpet player? This man, Joey Morant. So that's my dad. And then my mom, classical cellist, prodigy, traveled the world before she was even 15, just, so two different worlds, black dad, white mom. So we can, I go through many of the realities of that situation with young boys. So, and then I take us to my own dreams starting to manifest within me of wanting to make it, wanting to be Prince. Never happened. It's a good thing. I went, I laid back in the cut, started writing songs, but it was my motivation. So I share the struggles and trying to make it, sleeping in the Greyhound bus station and doing what I got to do and, living off food stamps and then, miracles happening. And then my ascent, if you want to call it that, and all the many, I mean, I got stories, so you could ask questions. I got stories for days with many artists that most of you would know. Some are just, inspirational. Some are hilarious. Some are, you know, me showing my behind. And then ultimately, my departure and my struggles, two marriages, my struggles with relationship, but my love for my children ultimately being the kind of the guiding force, the motivator. And so, and I walked through all of this, and to be frank, this little 300 something page book is not enough. I had to chop a good 400, so there will be a part two. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
as I said, not being one of the, and unfortunately, we live in a society where, um, you know, sharing gossip and sharing stories, backstories will, will generate the most buzz. So if you came and
Good.
says, okay,
Let's go.
I've got a story about my days at work at Bad Boy and
Yeah.
things I see, all of a sudden you're piggybacking of what's happening right now,
Uh,
and then using that as a way of telling the story.
yeah.
But somebody may read the book and not see the
Hmm.
fact that you may name drop people, but it doesn't mean that everything was, who you worked with, who you got on with the best. But you may not start to go dive into some of the
Hmm.
backstory stuff that people tend to think of and feast on. Why did you avoid that deliberately, or are we? Is there some expectation that we read the book and we may hear stories from people that we're familiar with?
Yes.
You know,
You'll certainly hear stories. I shared a story of when I first met Britney Spears unexpectedly. And it was Justin and JC invited me to a concert. And when they just started blowing up in the States, I already knew. I was in Europe when they were like, complete superstars. But before they blew up in the States. And so I got back to the States and started working with LFO, another very triple platinum pop group. But while I was doing that, these guys are touring and they invited me to a show, and I went to the show, and then JC's, Justin's telling me, yo, I'm gonna do something special. Check this out. So he leaves, and JC's like, oh, come backstage. I want you to meet somebody. I'm like, cool, cool, cool. And then he tells me, who it is. He starts describing this young lady. Then I meet the young lady, and then he quietly tells me, hey man, that's Justin's girl, but we're not saying nothing about that. And I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna say nothing. And I didn't even wonder, because I understood there's always been, from days gone by, where you keep your pop male artists. You want them, to be accessible to all the multi-millions of droves of fans and the dreamers, the young girl who's like, oh, that's my Justin, or that's my JC, or the minute they find out, well, they got a girl, sales might drop. I mean, I keep it real, but I don't. I tell the truth, but I just not into salacious, because although I might have been around and seen some things, and I have, what I mostly saw was love, and what I mostly saw was people just trying to do the best they can and live the dream too. And many of the artists, so that's my experience. That's how I received it. So that's how I share it. I'll let everybody else do the click. I'm gonna get your clicks. I'm hoping that maybe they'll click for the love part. But whatever. I want to bring it from where I stand now today, and also from what I attempted to be even during that time. I just wanted a happy, that's why the word is so important. It was always the definition of success to me was how happy the moment was, regardless. So I'm trying to maintain that, and that's where I come from. But I have some funny moments. Me and Genuine going through an airport, both had these little James Bond suitcases. Well, I had it. He liked it. He got one right away. We're rolling through the airport. This guy, I don't know what he's thinking. He got a cap gun in his suitcase. We about to fly. Okay, so there you go. We go through the thing. Bing, bing. We're pulled aside, and it was going down. We were about to be in trouble. Thankfully, somebody recognized Genuine. So I have, I got so many stories. Again, they're not contained in the book. So I think we're gonna have to do some exclusive, back moments, and I'll be glad to. I'll be glad.
Yeah, I mean,
You
what?
don't have to get the book. We can talk, but I love for you to get it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I have so many. We can go for days. Ask me about anyone, and I have a story. I promise. Name them.
Well, I guess
Let's go.
you've mentioned our guys some intro.
Yeah, let's go.
Anything? Yeah, anything. I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah. I mean, what can you tell
Let's
us
go.
first about Kenny
Okay.
Green? Because I
Oh,
think
okay.
as they're about to re-release the
Yes.
vinyl for their 30th
Yes.
anniversary of the intro debut album.
I just ordered mine. Yes.
Yeah, but what can you tell us about Kenny
Well,
Green as yeah?
let's do stories. I fashion myself as a storyteller, and I'm a writer now, so let's do stories. So when I first met, I met Kenny several times, many times over the course of my, trying to come up in the business, because we were all with the same people: Bob Celeste and Untouchables, Eddie F. It's his group, Atlantic. So this is when me and my brothers had a record deal with Giant, with Cassandra Mills. It's the same circle, the producers, blah blah blah. So I met me and Kenny. We hung out many times, but then our best and most intangible connection came again at the behest of DJ Eddie F. Eddie together in his studio in Closter, in his house. Everybody knows about the Playground Mini Mansion. It's legendary for just as a hit factory of its own. Everybody from Queen Latifah to Janae, everybody we connected with there. Terrell Hicks, so many artists that Anthony Hamilton, Ronnie Hanson, Jason Weaver. I mean, these are all people we work with. Lade, I'll be sure. But so Kenny, Eddie put me and Kenny together and said, "Do your thing." And me and Eddie had done some tracks, and he said, "Now y'all do your thing." So at first, Kenny's me, he's like, "Oh yeah, what's up, Mook? Yeah, long time, boom, boom, boom." We start. He says, "Now play me some tracks." I'm like, "Oh Lord," I got a little nervous. I'm like, "Yo, this dude did all the hits for all the people," and I know I'm doing some stuff, but woof. Here's the first track. Stops like 2 seconds in. Okay, give me the booth. 10 minutes later, he's basically wrote the hook, the first verse, the second verse, and it is fire. Duh. So I'm on cloud nine because he's rocking to my songs. So that became, we did a 10-hour session, 12-hour session, literally 5 songs. We just going, this is our commensurate meeting. We're meeting and we're throwing down. But it was also on the night of the Mike Tyson Evander Holyfield thing. So we're watching the fight in between things, Tyson bites Holyfield, like all this is happening. So me and him's hanging out. It just became a vibe, and he was such a brother, and we maintained that for the moment. But then later, he gets busy, and I actually got busy. I went on to do Genuine and all these people, and the next thing I heard was from Eddie telling me that Kenny had passed. And that was the last time I saw him, when we had this magical session. And so, again, it shows you, man, like, you better be in that moment. That's the only thing you're in control of. But I don't want to go too dark. So I want to say, with Intro, like, we've had so many moments. So me and Buddy, Intro, we're hanging out. Buddy invites me. Again, this is before I even really was popping. Buddy invites me to this TLC party, triple platinum party for, was it Crazy Sexy Cool, right? Is that the name of the album? Anyways, their triple platinum party for that album that went on to sell like 12 million. So we were in the jumps. So he's introducing me to everybody. I'm meeting Escape, TLC, so T-Boz gives Buddy this beautiful portrait, like painted portrait, and signs it and does all the stuff. And, we're taking pictures. And then he goes, so we're partying, and it's about 2:00 at night. This is me, and we're just throwing down and we're partying. I'm 3, 4, 40s deep by then. So we're going home. Starts. So we're making our way to where everybody's car is. We get accosted. We're walking around with this giant, by the way, I mean, it's like 4 feet by 4, this giant portrait signed by them. Like 5 dudes roll up. It's like, yo, what's that? They see it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this ain't South Carolina, this is New York. I'm scared. I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But he just literally turns New York. But this ain't Intro recording artist. Slams the things down. Hey, I'm telling the truth. He slams the thing down and challenges them. And they all kick back. They got nervous. It's like, and they scurried off. And I'm back there like, yeah, fool, what? So we go on, and to this, I was at Buddy's house recently. That portrait's in his studio. Ask him. So, I mean, when I see these things, it reminds me of this. I don't know if I wrote it in the book. I don't even know, but I have many stories. But my stories with Intro, like, they're more than stories, because we have this brotherhood. That was 30 years ago almost. Donnell, 25, 28 years ago. Again, we're about to throw this party for the book release and my birthday. It's going to be off the hook in Atlanta next week, December 15th. I'm segueing because I want to share that my people are showing up. Donnell will be there just to show love, just to be there with me. Buddy is hosting the party. He's flying in just to host the party. I've never had a birthday party. Now, don't weep for me. That's on purpose. From 15, I was playing gigs with my dad. Then when I started recording, I would be in the studio. And I loved it that way because that's who I am. It's what I do. It's what I love. So why not be doing the thing I love on my birthday? I don't need to be doing anything else because now I feel like I'm living. But I'm going to do this party, and we're going to have fun, and it's just going to be awesome. But my brothers from then are going to be there now, and they're shining. Donnell's crushing all over the globe. Intros, they just got back from this major R&B tour over there. It's Intro, it's Horace Brown, another brother of mine. It was Genuine, it was Drew Hill, other brothers of mine. I mean, to see these guys still crushing it, that's where I get my joy. I promise you. It's every time I'm there with them, and then they give me love back. It's just, I wouldn't trade then for anything in the world, and I also wouldn't trade now because I get to experience it through them, and it is a joyful thing. Quiet as it's kept, I love it. Yeah.
You also did some. Did you do any work with Mariah?
Okay, so Mariah, I worked with no, I wasn't. I didn't get any records on Mariah, but we became. There was kind of an association slash friendship for a little bit there because her,
Association slash
well,
friendship.
no, I ain't trying to say, I'm not trying to say that I'm here. Let me just get this right now before the talk starts. What I mean is her closest companion in music is Trey Lorenz.
Oh yeah, Trey. Yeah,
And me,
he was on Groove Theory. Tell me, he was the guy who
well,
sang the
oh
background behind.
yes, and is a beast. I look, I'm gonna talk about Trey to the end because he is the most, like, everyone knows about him in the industry. When you say Trey Lorenz, it's like whoo, because he's a top singer to top singers. But boy, I mean, he's just incredible. So we became friends. The guy who put together the A&R for the Men in Black soundtrack loved what me and Genuine did and said, well, I'm working on Trey's next project after he had that top 5 single, Someone to Love, top pop hit that he did with Mariah singing background for him. And he put me and Trey together and we became friends. Like for me, yes, you're an incredible artist, but man, do we have a connection? And that's what I would seek then, and it's paying off now because I mean, we're friends to this day. So we connected, and it was beautiful. So Trey's first thing is like, man, you know, Mariah wants to meet you. Mariah wants to know who's doing all this. I'm like, let's go. So Trey takes me to all these wonderful things with Mariah. Mariah's takes us out in her limo and we living large, hanging out with Stevie J, and when she was doing the Butterfly album. I mean,
Okay.
there's experience after experience. Again, you probably don't have enough time here, but hey, I'll come on your show weekly if you want to do a weekly countdown, whatever. But no, seriously, those are the moments that stick with me because it was beyond just the music. A lot of these people I didn't necessarily do a record for, but we maintain a connection today. The guys in Drew Hill, Smoke and Black, who were part of Playa, and
Yeah.
RIP Static, those were my guys. And to see them crushing now, come on, it's a joy for me.
Um,
My guys in Shy, who gave me so, my guys in High Five. I mean, all of these groups that are really doing well now, and I'm so thankful for that. That people are recognizing that '90s endless, timeless awesomeness and R&B.
yeah, but
It's beautiful,
did you work with, say, Cut Close or Shy
right?
or
Oh,
High
cut
Five?
close now. This is Tabitha, who will be at my party. Love me some Tabitha. Ooh, Lord, love Tabitha. We'll leave that there. So no, I didn't do a record with Cut Close. I didn't do a record with Shy. I didn't do a record with High Five. There just became a brotherhood in the connectedness out there. Now, an artist I did work with in the very beginning, who had to remind me, Ashanti.
Oh,
Me and a brother named Timmy Allen, on Song Hero, wrote High Fives. Oh, what's the hit for them? He just wrote High Five hits. He wrote several of the Backstreet Boys records. He wrote. This guy's a top producer, writer. Joe, I wanna know. This is Timmy Allen. Remember that
okay.
name? Google that name. He was my first producing partner. He worked with me on the Backstreet Boys, and they liked the record company liked so much that we did. They put us together with this unknown artist and budding songwriter who they wanted to sign. Her name was Ashanti. Her and her mom, Tina. They call Mominger now. And what's the other young lady? Was an attorney. Anyways, these people, we hung out and we hit it. We did demos, we did all this stuff, but Jive didn't end up signing her, which is good because she went on to do what she do. But
Mm.
then I would see you later in life, and she was like Mookie, and I'm like, who is this famous person calling my name? I mean, seriously. So those are Mook stories because those matter to me more than the records I did or the money I made from the records I did, is that the connections became timeless. And it wasn't intentional, but when your intentions are in it, this is how it works out, I believe.
Mm.
So,
Going back for your journey, who would you say would make your? I know everyone would say every record you did and every artist you worked with would be,
yeah.
they're like your children. But if you had to have your
Hmm.
top five favorite
Okay.
records you produced that
Got it.
you're proud of now, what would make that top five?
Definitely In the Hood with Donnell Jones, period. Definitely. I did 3 songs with Genuine, one for the Men in Black soundtrack and 2 for his 100% album, of which Sony, I'm still waiting on my plaque. I'll get back to you. But
Oh,
anyways,
going back though, did you do the original? This is all the players in the hood, up to no good, or the
no, so
remix?
Donnell, no, so Donnell, that's all Donnell. But then when it was remix time, me and Donnell had just, I mean, we had been in, like, we were boys, and like we'd done 5 records for his first album together. When it was time, he was like, "Yo, Mook, let's go. Let's go." And it was just how we did. He called me in, and boom, he showed me what he had, and he had all of this. He said, "But I need a verse, I need this and that, some melody," and that was my thing, melody. And I did something, he liked it, and we started going, and and next thing you know, that remix is the hit. So
Is it the one with
my
Eddie F or
yeah, oh Eddie, of course. Eddie was in the mix of all of our stuff. So where it
Okay.
goes, Eddie F,
Yeah, yeah. Was
Big
that you?
Daddy, check it out. That was Eddie. Listen to my voice. Eddie is
No,
cool.
no, no, no. The remix
Yeah,
production
well,
of that.
I did some co-production. Like I don't. I give it to Donnell, but Donnell, again, this is the guy. He tries to give some back to me, so it's kind of a. I worked with Donnell on that record. Let's just say that,
Okay.
and did some co-writing. But I don't like taking the credit he tries to give me because he's so prolific. I, he did that thing. But we did it.
Okay.
We did work together on that record. It's my favorite. Definitely the Men in Black soundtrack song I did with Genuine. I'm feeling you, man, because I played all the instruments. I did like
Mm.
5 guitars. I did
Wow.
like, and because we met that we no, I got to DC to record the record. I laid down the track. We met that afternoon. He did the vocals. We did all of it. Everything up to mixing Compton in 12 hours. Flew back to Florida. Mixed the record the next day. In 24 hours, we met, created the record, delivered the record to Sony. That's what you got. And next thing you know, I'm in a session with Trey Lorenz and Will Smith, and Steve Stout is over here like whispering, "Yo, that's the guy who did that record." And Will comes marching over me. I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna tell me to get out of his session." And he goes, "Yo," puts the pound out. "Yo, that's my song. That's my joint." So I mean, again, I'm sharing the stories, but
Yeah.
really in humility, man, because I'm telling you, part of this is that I never felt like I was one of the people. Like it's a weird thing. At that time, I was only with those are the only people I was with, like Backstreet Boys when they're in town. "Yo, Mook, what are you doing? Come to the studio," or "I'm coming over to your apartment." These guys living by now, they're living in big old houses. Guys hate me for telling them this. They're like, "We're coming to your apartment." And they're showing me their dance moves and all this right after performing in front of 50,000 people in Germany or whatever. So it was just, those are the people I was with. But I always felt humbled. You understand? Like, I
Mm.
always felt like, I guess I belong, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to keep
Mm.
my head down and just work. And, I don't know if that ever left me. Maybe that has a lot to do with things, but I don't know how much time we have left. Can I give a couple of shout outs?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Is that okay? So I need to say, so my people, Douglas Johnson and Aquila Love in Atlanta, they're the ones that massive, beautiful couple, entrepreneurs, beautiful black people, putting together this event for me on December 15th at Kenny Smooth Cornegay, producer extraordinaire, Case, Changing Faces, Mary J. Blige. He has a new club there. It's an incredible club that's just opening called 1-2 in Atlanta. He's providing the spot for me to do my birthday slash book launch,
Hmm.
which is launching on my birthday. And this couple is these entrepreneurs. They're doing a give back, so it's a charity event. Like the money, instead of charging tickets, because tickets cost, and all these celebrities
Hmm.
are going to be there. Nobody's, they're giving up. Frankly, they're giving up checks, big old checks, to be here because and the money that would be given, they're going to be able to. It's going to go towards the Jenkins Orphanage, which is in Charleston, and Chris 180, which is in Atlanta, and they're all to help children, homeless children and orphans.
Mm.
Which that's what I've always wanted, to help kids. And Lord knows I got. If y'all want to donate personally, PayPal, Cash App, I'm. But no, seriously, I want. So this couple is doing all this so that Again, Kenny Cornegay, my guy, Kenny Smooth. Kenny did the first Redbone, me and my brothers, the first record we did for Giant Warner Brothers, for Cassandra, my favorite record of all time. I'll send a link to you so you could play it. But that's how we met back in like 93. And he's been my bruh
Okay.
since. So when it was time, he's like, I got you. We're going to do it here. And it's a beautiful place. Um, One more shout out. I want to give a shout out to Chef Brett McGee and to Nina Sossaman. Now, these are people in my land of Charleston. Chef Brett McGee is a celebrity chef. I mean, when I say celebrity, he's done things for Tom Hanks. I mean, they fly him all over the world to cook
Hmm.
at their places. But he's supporting my endeavors, the book. We're about to on a whole TV show together and so much. Nina Sossaman is
Wow.
an Emmy Award winning uh, anchor person. I mean, these are the people that are helping me continue the dream. So I got to give them love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, I want these people to know that I'm here for them just like they're here for me. Of course, my children, Christian, Mercy, Sophia Blue, Savannah, my pancake, and my little baby boy Roman. I love you. Daddy loves you. So I got to make it clear right here and right now.
Okay. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good to always acknowledge those who
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
the scenes are supporting. But summarize the five favorite tracks again.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, y'all see how good Namdi is, y'all. I went so far off, and he's bringing me back. So we got Donald Jones in the Hood, of course. We got I'm Feeling You, Genuine. Now, my third favorite, and these aren't actually in order of importance. They could be any order,
Yeah.
because I there's a song I wrote called You're the Reason that I completely wrote it. And I ended up having my brothers, Kevin Richardson from the Backstreet Boys, and my other brother, Keith McGuffey, who is one of Kevin's best friends from childhood. They still work together today. And they both do music. So they produced my artist called Crystal for the Backstreet Boys' first record label, very own record label for their first artist. And they produced my song, and I co produced with them called You're the Reason.
Wow.
I'm just gonna give you the link. It's one of the most beautiful songs, and it's Crystal featuring the Backstreet Boys. So I got all of this talent on my record, and I'm telling you, to this day, it's one of my favorites. And then another favorite is a song I did with my brothers for the Redbone album for Giant Warner Brothers. The one Kenny Smooth produced, and it's called "Calling Out Your Name." It was just like it had that R&B '90s bop. You know, there was like maybe a Monica, maybe a kind of mid tempo. It just had that. It was like a Dave Hall, but it had Kenny's vibe. So that's like four. The fifth one, I've done a lot of records. It would be me and Eddie, me and Eddie F. and incredible songwriter, sister mine, Mary Brown. We did a song. Eddie introduced me to the sample by KRS-One, and we made this record and this song together, me and Eddie and Mary, called Anything You Want. Woo! We did it with the group R&B group Shades from Motown. Woo!
Okay.
So those are my five.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's
Okay.
five others. There's five others. We'll do but those are my five
Okay.
off the rip. Yeah.
So there's a link that's pinned in the chat.
Mhm.
It looks it's PayPal. So what
Okay.
does it take us to?
That should take you to, a lot of people. I mean, people have been really been blessed, been supporting the book and my endeavors surrounding it with Jenkins Orphanage and Chris 180 in Atlanta and my friends there. If you can't go, it's okay. I might not have been there if it wasn't, my party. So wherever you are around the world, you can go to this link and donate to the Jenkins Orphanage. It'll go to the DNA Brand Foundation, which is this beautiful couples entrepreneurial foundation, and all the money goes directly to these two institutions, straight to the kids. That's it.
Okay.
Period. So if you want to help some kids out, come on, man. Money talks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, as I said, it's the link is up there and stuff.
Thank you.
So we have, and I'm just gonna bring this out now. So we have the book pre-order. People can pre-order now, but
Yes.
it will be available worldwide
Yes.
on the 5th of December.
December
No,
15th, my
15th.
birthday.
Yeah.
So just put those two together. So going forward, when you think about the book, you think about Mook's birthday, I'm accepting all gifts, y'all. I like purple, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, yes. And so
Okay, got you, got you.
I wanted to make it big so people can actually see
No. Oh,
the
here,
size
let's
of.
let's. There it is. The happy has been. Oh, here I'm gonna do something exclusive. Nam, you ready? Nobody's ever seen the back cover. Let's go. There's the side right there, and here we go.
Okay, you got you and
Boom.
the drums.
Now, here I'm gonna say this is the proof. Like the books are printing now, so there's an error on the back. I ain't gonna talk about it because you'll never know. But so I'm gonna leave it there. But so I got the proof. I wanted to share this with you first. So love you, brother.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's good to be able to, and then I guess it's for those. I mean, wh- what type of people do you think will enjoy reading this book? I mean, what if people, what kind of interest?
Well, I'll say anyone who's into again the '90s, the 2000s, the music world. Then I interacted and was connected to, I mean, so many fronts from the pop world, R&B, hip hop, the whole span. There's pretty much nobody I didn't connect with. Even Minneapolis, I've linked up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the goats. Okay,
Mm,
so if you're into music in any form, from even the 80s into the 90s, the 2000s, it's there. But also, for it's to encourage people who are trying to make it, to show you that if this kid, this single dad with zilch, had the fortitude to just, I don't know, or either maybe the blind belief that he was somebody special to go try and make it. You can do it if you have a dream. If you're 50 years old, I started writing this book a few years ago. I'm about to turn 56, y'all. So don't give me
wow.
that. You can do it now. If you didn't do it then, you're alive now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Has been. I'm trying to flip that. I have been, I have done, and I will do again. And I'm happy
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like some real inspirational things there. And for the party in Atlanta,
Yes.
if people are in the Atlanta area, what can they
Yes.
do if they want
Please.
to take part? Or
Just show up at Club 12. I think I gave you the address. It's 2000 Powers Ferry Road in Marietta, Atlanta. And that's by memory. So if I'm wrong, hopefully the link will clear that up. And it's Kenny Smooth's new spot. Show up, show out, Atlanta. This is y'all's new spot. Mr. Cheeks is coming through from the Lost Boys. I mean, my friends are going to show up and show out, as my brother Donnell says. And all you have to do, I mean, you're not even having to pay for this. Just donate. Get on there and give to the kids. It's almost like you're
mm,
giving a gift to these kids, and then we're gonna have a party. We are going to turn up. I promise you. Just show up, donate, bring an article of clothing, some coats, very helpful, some toys. If you don't have the money, whatever you can do, but just give, and we're going to
mm,
give. Me and my beautiful friends and musical community there in the Atlanta area, we're going to give back on my
yes,
birthday.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, on your birthday and
Yes.
worldwide release of the book.
Yes.
Would we ever
It's my
see
gift.
you in the studio again, doing some work
Oh
with
yeah.
Intro and
Oh.
Buddy and Jeff?
Okay, newsflash. It's already happening. Oh, intro is happening. It is happening. So all you got to do is listen out. I promise. We already got fire. So thanks for reminding me because I was gonna forget that. Oh, we got fire in the works, and my brother DJ Eddie F. Oh, and wait, Donnell Jones, you say? Oh yes. So we're coming back, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And most of all, it's a blessing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? The fact that people still want to hear the music that my friends are bringing, and myself. I mean, we're gonna make it count. Maybe a little
yeah.
Backstreet Boys action in there. You hear me, fellas? You never know. You never know. So,
Yeah, it's a pity we never saw Backstreet Boys in
yeah.
sync collaboration.
Hey, I'm good on both sides. So I mean, here I am. I'm the bridge. I am the connection. 2 degrees of connection. I'm right here. Let's make it happen.
The link with the link that's in there, which is the PayPal and donate, is there the option to pre-order the book now? Or most people
Yes.
seem to be interested to go in. Okay, so they can
Yes,
also
please.
pre-order the book using this the
Right
link
now.
that's been.
Please. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I challenge you, don't wait for it to get to Amazon and all that. Do it from my site, because if you do it from my site, then we get to direct those numbers to Amazon, and then Amazon has to pay us attention. Let's just keep it real, because they got
Yeah.
Matthew hey, bruh, okay. Then there's this kid. But if we get those pre-orders in, oh, they pay attention. Trust me. So
Yeah.
please go on https:// the happy hat. Get your you own that. I got gems. I got fun. I got experiences
Mm.
that y'all are gonna be like, wait, what? And I keep it real, as they say. Like I ain't got nothing to hide. We gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
Holler at your
Definitely.
boy. Hashtag the happy has been. Tag me. Let's go. Instagram. My daughters are
Well, I
trying to
mean,
teach me TikTok, all that.
yeah, it's never easy. But guys, I mean, as I said, definitely want to thank Mookie for stopping by.
Love
Um,
y'all.
as I said, if you look in the chat, it has been pinned. The links to where to pre-order the book or to support the project as well. And yes, and some good news: the fact that both Donnell and Intro are back in the studio, and
Absolutely.
even with DJ Eddie F. And so
Yes.
we'll eagerly. Um, hey, look who just dropped in.
Buddy! That's my bro. Buddy will be co-hosting my event. So if you want a reason to come besides some guy you might not know about, you know about Intro. You want to see Intro? Come to Club 1-2 in Atlanta, December 15th, your boy's birthday book release party. But here in the chat. Love you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, buddy, people are really give positive feedback from those who have been watching the intro documentary.
Ah, it's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, it is.
Shout out to Jason
Um,
Evans, director, my guy, in the
yeah, I
flicks.
mean, it
Yeah.
it's I guess it's hearing about Kenny and
Yeah.
that sort of intro and sort of back
Yeah.
about him and how things were. So if you
Yeah.
haven't checked it out, I've posted it a number of times on our community, and so
Yeah.
it's over 1,500 people have watched it since we posted it up. So
Yes.
it looks
Yes.
like it's doing numbers. So we look
Halftime
for.
chat, baby. Let's do some numbers on this book.
Yeah, and also it's intros 30th anniversary
Yes.
of the release of the debut album.
Magic.
Vinyls are available. Buddy is going to send me the link so that we can post that as
Good.
well.
Good. Good. Shout out
Um,
again to Lady T. That's my girl Tanya is over there in Germany. She's one of the biggest supporters out here. Oh, shout out. Hi, Victoria. Victoria is my, if you were to call like a right hand person, she's literally right and left hand. That's my person. So
okay.
in a minute, you're gonna need to deal with his loss out here trying to do all this stuff. What up? But shout out to Lady T, Tanya. I'll see you in Germany in the spring, and I will see you too, Namdi. Please believe it. I'm coming over. Yes.
Yeah,
Also, can I say one
definitely.
more thing? This is important
Yeah.
to me. I know. So I thank you again for bringing up my mom. I got. This is gonna be tough, so just spare me. I got like so much like my music community, from everyone from Eddie to people. I mean, people I didn't know remembered me, frankly, as I has been. I'm talking everyone you can imagine in the music community. Names, pick a name, reached out to me as soon as mom went on to glory, and they remain, all of them, everyone. So I just want to thank you. And also my people at home in Charleston, people around the world instantly came to show love because they understand uh, that it's their legacy. Whatever I think I'm doing or have done, it's them who lives through me. So now it's up to me. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being supportive, because I would not be here sitting right now, have made it through that so soon, if not for the encouragement of you, Namdi, and all your watchers, your faithful hundreds of thousands of people. So
Yeah,
so
no,
I thank you.
it is
I
never
thank
an
you.
easy thing to lose
No.
a
Yeah.
parent or a loved one, and
Yeah.
all, no matter how old they are. So,
That's my
um,
girl. That's my girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
So as I said, I'm sure she is proud. She was aware of the book, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, it's saddening to think maybe, oh, I wanted her to see this moment, but at the same time, her and dad. But I know they already got it. It's they're living through these pages, man. It's because of everything that they shed onto me that this even exists. It's the only reason,
Mm.
and I hope I do them proud. And
Mm.
my kids are next, so that's everything to me. And again, I'm thankful. I am thankful. I'm not looking for anything to happen. I'm just thankful to be here and to have these experiences, and to have a platform like yours to be able to just run my mouth. So I love y'all.
Yeah.
I love you all. I appreciate y'all, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, so guys, as I said, anyone in the Atlanta area, Club
Please,
1-2.
please.
Step them down. We've put, as I said, pin out the details in the chat so where you could then pre-order the book, put a donation in, and get info about the birthday stroke book launch
Yes,
party on the 15th.
yes,
Um, but Mookie, definitely appreciate the fact that you stepped through
yeah.
that, that you're able to share some things with about the book. And as I said, once the book is out, we may just have another chat just to see how it's
Please.
going.
Yes,
And
yes. Thank you.
I know this isn't going to be like a Jada Smith book promotion. We're not going to get those salacious stories. Say everyone's like, "Oh, I
Although
need to read the
no,
book."
no, no, no. Although love you, Jada. I also Will. I mean, Will. You know I love you, son. You helped me at a time when you might not even known it. So I'm down with Jada's book. Let's go. Maybe you let me open up for you on the book tour. We'll do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just it's all love right here, man. Because I've been given so much love. That's all I got to give back. So it's
Mm,
what it is.
yeah. So, I mean, guys, I want to thank you guys who have been tuning in
Thank you.
and throughout the session today. As I said, the Happy Has Been is well, you can pre-order it now,
Yes,
and you
please.
can support the project using clicking onto the link that's in the pinned in the bio. And as I said, look out for stuff with Intro and Donnell, part of the Untouchables camp, still
Yes.
still
Yes.
doing his thing
Yes.
in a way into the 21st century and stuff. So
Woo.
definitely look forward to stuff like that.
Yes.
And yeah, I appreciate you as well, Mickey, for coming in
Yeah. Love
and
you, man.
sharing your stuff. Yes. But anyway, guys, so we will we'll definitely be able to catch you guys again. And I've been here for a while. Loved the interview, buddy. Yes. Really had
Thank
fun
you,
with
bud.
yes. I mean, yes, you've got the book out there and stuff. Um,
Bam.
yeah. Is there gonna be Michael Bivins came out with a
Oh,
documentary, then he put a
yes.
soundtrack to it. Was there ever gonna
Yes.
be a soundtrack to the book?
So get ready. So until that happens, oh, and it's happening. An audiobook will be coming, recorded in January. Ebook coming, of course. It'll be a mass. It'll be out on all the platforms. But you better believe we're going to curate music from these times, music that I did, music that my friends did, music, maybe some new mixes, I think. But going forward, absolutely, all the new music that comes will be attached to any event, any book signing, which I'm available for now. Uh, Anything that I do going forward, there will be new music. So don't take my
Okay.
word for it. Just wait, it's coming, and I will share with you out the gate, man, because you've been here with me from jump. So we're gonna do this again. Got you.
Yeah, definitely. The Happy Has Been, that's the title of it. Hashtag it, search it, and get your copy right now. And definitely, as I said, if you're in the Atlanta area, Club 112, no, not 112, 12.
Club one, two. Hey, they
Go
might be
across.
there. Those are our boys.
Yeah,
So hey,
Club 1-2 in the Atlanta area for
yes,
the Danielle, hosted by Buddy from
yes.
Intro.
Got
And
Tabitha
yeah,
from Cut Close. Got my boys from 95 South, Carlos and Mike Mike. Got Mr. Cheeks, Lost Boys, who I'm a huge fan of, and he's also my bruh. Uh, so many, but again, intro, and all kinds of people are gonna come through the spot. Atlanta, Atlanta's the mecca, so you want to be there. You want to
yeah.
be there. December 15th.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, so we'll see you guys on another episode of Halftime Chat going live, and as I said, more details around Mookie's The Happy Has Been will be posted, and so you could follow through and stuff like that. And I'll also be able to put down his other social details as well because he's
Yes,
very
please.
active on IG, and so you
Yes.
can follow him on that. But thanks, you guys, for watching and contributing, and we'll definitely see you soon. Take care.